Hello out there, future millionaires. We have a guest with us today, a guest that I'm excited to have today because she is going to speak today about something that we can all use and utilize, especially myself. So listen up, listen closely, and you might learn something. We have Sue with us today, founder and CEO of Author Academy, Sue Kennedy Publishing, Author Academy Bookstore, and Healing with Art. With over 3 decades of book coaching, publishing, speaking, and most importantly, real life in the trenches business experience. Her view is radically different. Sue, sometimes referred to as the people whisperer, for her coaching skills that brings out the best in people, is known for her practical, street savvy style. Sue shares her success and guides others through her 5 step unique process to write and publish their book. She has a diploma in art therapy, neurographical specialist coach, and she is an international intuitive coach slash artist. With these, she has brought them together to create her own unique program to empower others. Sue is also the co-host of the podcast called Full of Words. I'd like to welcome to the Millionaire by Morning Show, founder and CEO of Author Academy, Sue Kennedy Publishing, Author Academy Bookstore, and Healing with Art. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you so much, Rashad, for having me. I'm very excited to be here with you.
I am glad to have you. As I stated earlier, I'm finishing up on a book. I deal with authors and speakers, and everyone that I deal with, I try to get them to tell their story. So you could offer some insight to us today with the Author Academy. Um, I know that by looking at your introduction on your website, it says that you kind of start telling your own story. That's the way that you wrote your first book. Can you take us back there and tell us how it got started?
Yes, definitely. Thank you for allowing me to share my story. So I've always wanted to write a book, and one, the typical I'm not good enough kept creeping up, and I sort of thought to myself, well, who says that I'm not good enough? But anyway, I then went through a pretty horrendous part of my life. It was horrible. And sorry, I can hear, I thought that I got rid of some noises in the background. I've just got rid of them. So apologies for that. So yeah, everything come crashing down around me. I lost everything. The husband, the job, dog, house, everything all came crashing down one after the other, which was really, I just sort of stopped and went, how did that all happen, and what just happened? And, I ended up, but pretty much, homeless with no money, pretty much, and no insight as to where I'm going to get the next dollar, pretty much. So, and it was, I fell into such a dark, deep hole that I considered suicide. It was that bad. And it was thankfully because of my beautiful dog that I had at the time, and I've only recently lost him. So he was the one that snapped me out of it pretty much. And I'm very grateful to him, because I wouldn't be here today to be able to share this story with everyone and to help people that perhaps, have been at that point in their life, and, I can help them turn it around. So yeah, pretty much from there, I thought, well, what's going on? I didn't understand what was going on. So I did a heap of research around that and found out that I had depression, because back then it wasn't talked about like it is today. And thankfully we do talk about it more today so that we can save more lives, which, I'm really happy and pleased to say. We don't get to everyone, but we get to most people, and that's a good thing. I think the more awareness we have about it, the better. But anyway, so from there I went on and thought, well, I did it pretty much to heal myself. And I thought, well, this has helped me tremendously. So why don't I actually do something about it and help others? So I turned it into a book. And then from there, I went on to write many others. And of course, from there, I started running workshops and then created my coaching program. So, and then, tragedies along the way, of course. But yeah, that's pretty much where I've been and where I am now.
That's amazing. The story of how people kind of get pushed into their purpose. Um, if you was to listen to a few of my podcasts on YouTube, it's so many different people telling that same story. So that's amazing. Um, how many years has it been? Like how long ago was it? I think it said it in your biography.
About 15 years, because my dog
Okay.
that I just lost was 16 and 3 months. So he was probably about a year old or something like that. So, yeah.
Okay. So you immediately, well, you wrote a few books and then you begin your workshop. So the workshop is ongoing. And I would like to know a little bit about that, about how you are presenting the workshop to authors, what they can come in and be able to learn with working with you.
Yep. So I don't run the group workshops anymore. And I was running them up until COVID, and then COVID stopped all that, and I just haven't got back into it. Instead, I just started doing coaching, which seems to be, working really well. So what I did was I thought, well, I'll turn that into a coaching program. But I also am an artist, as you mentioned, and I didn't know which one to decide. So I thought, well, why not do both and combine the two? And that's from that, that's what I created my coaching program from. So just a little bit about it. Of course, we go through all the steps of, creating the outline of the book and all the other things that need to happen with the book. But I also have the extra added component of the art therapy that comes into it. I've got a couple of different ways I present that, and I give people a choice because one, like going to a blank canvas can be quite, cause a lot of anxiety for people. So I thought, I need to sort of, because I seem to get a lot of people that come through, not just business owners, but then business owners as well can get quite anxious as well. They might run fantastic businesses, but, behind that, is someone that can possibly be someone that's quite anxious. So I wanted another way of, helping people get their story out. And the reason I do the art component is because it is therapeutic and it helps you get rid of that writer's block. But it also, as I say, has a healing component to it, and it allows the story to come to the forefront, because a lot of the time, we forget, or we stick it, in the back of our minds and we just forget about it. Yeah. But also there's a lot that we, from our subconscious, that we haven't actually pulled down, and this allows that to happen. So the other process is pretty much a new, fairly new modality, which is called neurographica. It was only founded in 2014. So as soon as I saw that, I went, I need to do that, and for myself, but also then be able to use that as another tool that I can help my beautiful clients with. So, and that's pretty much just paper, pen, and markers, and it's very powerful.
So the art component, um, is that almost like a form of meditation?
Yeah, you could say that. It has that kind of feel to it as well, because what happens when you're actually doing the art is you end up in the present moment, which is the best place to be. And so you forget about everything else, and it just puts you in a really amazing mindset and a lovely place to be. And I love it. Every time I start to sort of drift off to past or future, I go, oh no, come back, and I do something, whether it's a form of art or bit of writing, I bring myself back so that I try, you know, most of the time I'm in the present moment, which is great.
That's why I made that connection because well, reading a lot of business books, the meditation aspect is what they claim is that's what get them back to center. So the same thing you just said about art. So
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So you do have a 5-step process, a program. Do you mind telling us the 5 steps? Or is that just for coaching clients to know?
Well, I mean, I can just give you a brief, but the actual breakdown is, yeah, I mean, and I'm happy to discuss that with anyone if they want to contact me. So yeah, so it's pretty much we work out the outline of the book. We make sure that it flows. We make sure, you know, we go through what person you write, you know, what type of person you're writing in. So whether that's first, second, or third, we, yeah, brainstorm all kinds of things and making sure that, you know, like, and what I get people to do is do a brain dump of everything. And from there we can edit. You know, let's just do that brain dump and get it all out and then work out what goes in, what doesn't go in. And of course, the other thing is the art component that goes into it. And I also offer, part of that program is that we write all the other pages, like the, you know, all the other important pages that a lot of people forget to do. So that's included in it. And we create the cover, proofreading and editing is included in that, the formatting and design layout of the book, and it also includes printed copies of your book. So it's sort of an all-in-one package.
Right. Okay. Sounds like a deal. And you also having the Author Academy bookstore. So you provide a place for them to sell it as well?
Yes. So anyone that comes through my coaching program automatically gets their book put on the bookstore. And yeah, so I decided to create that because I don't want to mention their name, but one of the big booksellers, you know, and they're doing a great job. They do well, but the thing is, they take the majority of the profits. So you only make a couple of dollars. And I went, that's not fair. All the hard work that you go through to create that book, I'm going to change that. So I flipped it on its end. I get like 10% and the rest goes to the author.
Oh.
I just do, you know, like I'm happy to just get the administrative fees and, you know, maybe make a couple of bucks per book that I sell. That's about it.
That sounds good. That's definitely a good deal.
Mm.
Um, because artists always get the short end of the stick. It seems like, but that is a good deal.
Yes.
As far as marketing goes, is there an outlet? I know that there's an online outlet, but is there do you teach anything else? I know that there's other aspects of kind of getting your book in front of buyers faces or being in places or spaces. But what other type of marketing would there be other than like at this point Amazon and just putting your book online?
So I am actually in the process of putting together a book marketing program that can help people. So stay tuned for that when that pops, but or drops down. But I always say to people, like, of course, have a book launch. Like, I think that's a big thing. Organizing a book launch, and you don't have to have just one and that's it. Like, you can create, a book launch 6 months later, and go on a book tour even. Line up a few places, wherever you'd like to go. So whether it's within your state or your city, find a few places that would happily have you there, showcasing your book. And that's in bookstores or coffee shops even. And even just going to different coffee shops, like, it's a win-win for everyone because you get to stand there and talk about your book. But the coffee shop, of course, is happy because people are coming in and buying coffee and cake.
Right.
So, it's a win for everyone. So they would happily have you there. So, yeah, just reaching out to these people and letting them know. But getting on podcasts, like being a guest on podcasts, is a good way as well of letting people know that you have a book and where to get it. Of course, creating a website for yourself so that you can put it on there and send people there. Or, putting it on places like my bookstore or Amazon and places like that. The thing that what happens with a lot of people is they put it on Amazon and think, awesome, now I'm going to make $1 million. No, it won't happen unless you work hard and tell people that it's there.
Right.
Because that's what a lot of people say to me. Well, I've got my book on Amazon, but I'm not selling any copies. And I'm like, have you told anyone it's there? And they're like, no. Well, that's why you're not selling it, because Amazon don't advertise for you. They put it on there. You're just another product for them. Other than that, and that's their model. That's the way they run their business. And there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people don't realize that, people don't just happen to find your book and know it's there.
Right. You have to lead them to the water.
That's right.
So, do you work with a certain niche, or is it? You mentioned business earlier. Is it self-help business? What do you normally type of author do you work?
Yeah, so predominantly it's business owned. Well, I've got two probably niches that I work with. It's business owners, but also people that want to write their story of, well, most people that come to me, it's some form of trauma. So like domestic violence, or like in my case, depression, cancer. I've been through cancer. So I tend to attract those kind of people, which is fine because it's perfect, because I've been through it. So I know what you're going through, so I can help you. It's same. I've written business books as well. So they, as you said, it's whatever we've gone through is generally what we turn into our business.
Yep, that's right. Passion to profits.
That's it.
So, what about speaking engagements? Do you transition your author from, or is that part of your course or your teachings? That jump on stage maybe and book more speaking engagements with your book.
That would it doesn't, well, I can speak about it in my coaching program, that's for sure, but probably getting into more in-depth helping would be in my book marketing program.
Okay.
But it's something I could definitely, assist them with.
Okay. All right. I know it's definitely a leveraging technique. Speakers are getting paid an insane amount of money now for keynotes and things of that nature. So I know, author books are a way in the door. So what may I ask, Sue, do you have planned or in store for the future of Author Academy?
So what my plans are for the next, well, hopefully it'll happen before the next 5 years, but my plans are for next year, by the end of next year, to have my own property where I will have retreats. So set up to run retreats, and that's for other people to come and facilitate there, not just myself. So running writers retreats and painting retreats, all that. So it sounds, I'm very excited about it.
Okay, so with that, I hear the accent. Where are you located?
I'm in Sydney, Australia.
Okay, okay, so is that where your workshop would be?
It most likely in Sydney. I mean, I could go to other places too, but mainly
Okay,
Sydney. I would love to run one in Hawaii too.
okay, all right. Let's make it happen. So your coaching is one on one over maybe Zoom or webinars, or are you doing it physically?
I can do it face to face, but I find that it's just so much easier for everyone that we just do it on Zoom.
Okay. Okay, great. Reason I'm asking that question, anyone listening can reach out, and she has an author program that can help you to clear your mind and get that book written that you've been wanting to write. Where can they find you at, Sue?
So I have got some gifts I want to actually give to your listeners. So if they head on over to www.authoracademy.com.au/gifts, GIFTS, and there's a few free resources there. All you need to do is pop your email in to grab them. And on there, there's at the bottom, there's also a place where you can book a half an hour free heartstorming session with me.
Okay. Okay. That is awesome. Would you like to drop any of your social media channels so they could follow you maybe?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on all of them, and pretty much if you put Author Academy, you should find me.
Okay. Um that that name seemed like I hope you have that trademark because that's the perfect name, you know, Author Academy. So Sue at Author Academy, look her up on all of the social medias and go to her website. She has some gifts for you that I'm pretty sure are in depth coming from the Author Academy. I want to thank you, Sue, for coming on tonight. Um, I learned a lot just within that little time span. Um, so I will be following you for sure. And when I write my book, I'm gonna email you a copy. It'll just be a little ebook for now.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Rashad, for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. You have a great night and much success to everything that you do.
And to you. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night.